Ross, he showed up, he's out there working out. Jay, when you look at Ross, is there a team maybe in that group that it jumps out as a fit? Because I think sometimes you get a little too worried about fit when it really is take the best player, but I'm curious if a guy like Ross could actually fit into any of those squads that high.
I don't know. I would. It all depends on how things fall.
Right.
I mean, where Bradley Beal goes, where some of the other top guards go. For me, Terrence Ross is a guy that has phenomenal athletic ability. Could he be a great fit in a team like a Washington? Of course. Could he be a great fit in a team like a Cleveland? But I don't think those teams are going to pass on a guy like a Bradley Beal, who I think is one of this. Even though he's a top 5 pick, I don't think people talk about Bradley Beal a lot.
What I like about Terrence Ross, and I watched him at the end of the year in the NIT, he not only is a good shooter, he can create his own shot. You see it right there. But very, very underrated defender. He did a great job of locking down Orlando Johnson, who's also in this segment with the 2 guards, young man from Santa Barbara. Terrence Ross, I think, Chad, is going to be a guy. I have him as a undervalued guy. He's going to sneak maybe into the late lottery, but he is a defensive. He can guard 2 guards in the NBA. You're going to have somebody guard the elite 2 guards. Kobe's maybe on the downside, but he's still pretty good. You're going to have to guard guys like that in this league. This kid can do that.
He's got great size. He's 6'7". He is an elite athlete. I mean, he can jump out of the gym, and he really strokes the basketball. I saw him in a workout in Reseda where they were playing 5-on-5, and he was playing against NBA players like Rasul Butler and Austin Day, and he shined.
That's that recent workout, right?
Yeah, in a recent workout. I mean, he really shined there. He belongs as an NBA player. I think he ticks off all the things that you look at. The one thing he can improve on, getting to the basket, right? He doesn't quite have that in-between game yet that I think he could be better at the pros. But as far as shooting the NBA 3, no problems with that stroke. He's got that range. And I agree with Fran, an underrated defender, and maybe a guy, again, if he had played at a Duke or at a North Carolina instead of a team like Washington that didn't get quite the same play, would probably be ranked higher. And I agree with Fran, he's probably undervalued right now.
Tom, when you're putting together a roster and you have to worry about cost and maybe the available talent, I've talked to guys in the past and say, give me the one thing you think is the most important. And I've had so many GMs say, if you can shoot, I got a spot for you. Is that how a lot of front offices look? And they look at just the shooting ability. They almost want to find a spot for you on the roster, a guy like Ross?
Everybody wants offense. You can always use shooting. And then you look at athletic ability to defend and willingness to defend. And, is that going to develop through professionalism? Here's the deal. I mean, the higher you are drafting, the more this guy must be either a long-term starter, or when we start talking up top 10, it's got to be a franchise pillar almost at the top of that section. And as we talk, and you talk about wing defender and you talk about like these little specialties, that's a role player, all right? And a role player is typically taken later in the draft. It's hard to jump up high to take a kid who's not going to be a substantial contributor.